The weight is killing me. Episode 2's trailer just dropped and I'm not okay. We've got fires burning, people screaming, and someone's definitely dying. The Frasers thought they could finally have peace on the ridge, but judging by what I just saw, that dream is about to turn into a nightmare. There's blood, there's betrayal, and there's a moment in this trailer that made my heart stop. So if you're not ready for what's coming, maybe look away now. Because Prophecies is about to destroy us all. Okay, so let me just say this right off the bat. When I watched this trailer for the first time, I had to pause it like 5 times because I couldn't handle what I was seeing. And I know you guys felt the same way, because the comments are already going crazy. Episode 2 is titled Prophecies, and that title alone should tell you everything you need to know. This isn't going to be a calm, peaceful episode where the Frasers sit around and enjoy their new life. No. This is going to be chaos, and the trailer proves it. The synopsis says, when a violent tragedy shakes the ridge, the Frasers must lean on their new tenants to make the community whole again. Violent tragedy, those 2 words are doing some heavy lifting here, and I'm terrified about what they actually mean, because we've seen tragedy before on this show. We've seen death, we've seen loss, we've seen heartbreak, but something about the way this trailer is cut makes me think this tragedy is going to hit different. Like, this might be one of those moments that changes everything for the Frasers and everyone on the ridge. Let's start with the most obvious thing. The trailer opens with chaos, absolute chaos. We see people running, we see panic in their eyes, and we hear shouting. Something has happened, something bad, and whatever it is has thrown the entire ridge into disorder. Now, my first thought was that this has to do with those hanged men that Bree and Jaime found in the woods at the end of episode 1, because that scene was eerie as hell, and we all know it wasn't just a random detail. Those men were hanged for a reason, and whoever did it is probably still out there. So my theory, whoever hanged those men is coming for the ridge next. But here's where it gets interesting. The trailer shows us fire, a lot of fire, and not just like a campfire or a cozy fireplace. I'm talking about flames engulfing buildings, smoke filling the air, destruction everywhere. Someone's house is burning, and I have a horrible feeling about whose house it might be. Remember in episode 1 when we saw Fergus and Marsali? They're living in town. And Fergus is a rebel. He's printing pamphlets, he's spreading revolutionary ideas, and he's not exactly being subtle about it. So what happens when the British soldiers find out? What happens when they decide to make an example out of him? In the trailer, there's a quick shot of a woman screaming, and I swear it looks like Marsali. Her face is covered in soot, her eyes are filled with terror, and she's reaching out for something or someone. If that's really her, then I think the British came for Fergus. Maybe they burned down their house, maybe they arrested him, or worse, maybe they hanged him. I really hope I'm wrong about this because I can't handle losing Fergus. But the way this trailer is edited, it feels like something terrible is about to happen to them, and the Frasers are going to have to step in to save whatever's left. Now, before we go any further, if you're enjoying this breakdown and you want to see more Outlander content from me, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Seriously, it helps so much. And it lets me know that you guys actually want to see this stuff. Also, drop a like on this video and leave a comment telling me your theories about episode 2. I want to hear what you think is going to happen because honestly, I have so many questions and I need to discuss them with someone. Alright, let's keep going. Section 2, so let's talk about the Cunninghams because I have a really bad feeling about them. In episode 1, we met Captain Charles Cunningham and his mother Elizabeth, and right away, something felt off. Charles seems polite enough on the surface, but there's something in his eyes that makes me nervous. And his mother, don't even get me started on Elizabeth. She slapped Mandy across the face just because the poor kid was being a normal child. She told the Frasers they're going to hell, and she walks around with this judgmental attitude like she's better than everyone else. I don't trust her at all. But here's the thing, the trailer gives us more of the Cunninghams, and it's not good. There's a scene where Charles is standing in what looks like a confrontation, and his face has this expression that I can't quite read. Is he angry? Is he scared? Is he hiding something? I can't tell. But whatever's happening in that moment, it's intense. And then there's another shot where Elizabeth is in the background, looking absolutely furious. Her face is twisted with rage and she's staring at someone off camera. Who is she looking at? What did they do to make her that angry? I have so many questions. My theory is this: the Cunninghams have been helpful to the settlers while the Frasers were gone. Right, they've been acting like they're these good, upstanding members of the community. But I think they have an agenda. I think they've been positioning themselves as leaders on the ridge. And now that Jaime and Claire are back, they're not happy about it. Maybe they see the Frasers as a threat to their authority, or maybe they've been doing shady things while the Frasers were away and now they're worried about getting caught. Either way, I think the Cunninghams are going to be a major problem this season. And episode 2 might be where we start to see their true colors. And speaking of problems, let's talk about that violent tragedy the synopsis mentioned. The trailer shows us something that I think is connected to those hanged men. There's a scene where Jaime is holding a rifle and he looks absolutely furious. His jaw is clenched, his eyes are blazing, and you can tell he's about to go into full protector mode. What happened to make him that angry? Did someone attack the ridge? Did someone hurt one of his people? Because Jaime doesn't get that level of angry unless someone he cares about is in danger. Then we have Claire, and oh my god, she looks devastated in the trailer. There's a shot of her kneeling on the ground and her hands are covered in blood. Who is she trying to save? Is it someone we know? Is it one of the settlers? Is it Bree, Roger, one of the kids? I'm spiraling just thinking about it because we all know Claire is a healer. If she's that upset, it means someone is badly hurt or dying, and she might not be able to save them. That thought alone is terrifying because Claire has saved so many people throughout the series. But what happens when she can't? What happens when modern medicine isn't enough? There's also this moment in the trailer where Bree is talking to Roger, and she asks him a question that made my stomach drop. She says, if something happened to me, would you stay here? Would you stay here? Why is she asking that? Why is she even thinking about something happening to her? Is she planning to do something dangerous? Is she sick? Is she in trouble? Because that's not the kind of question you ask unless you genuinely think you might not make it. And Roger's face in that scene tells me everything I need to know. He's scared. He doesn't want to think about losing her, but he knows something bad is coming now. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I have a theory. What if Bree gets caught? In the middle of whatever violence is about to happen on the ridge, she's brave, she's stubborn, and she's absolutely the type of person who would put herself in danger to protect her family. Or the settlers. So what if she tries to intervene in something, maybe tries to stop an attack or save someone, and ends up getting hurt in the process? The trailer shows chaos and violence, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bree finds herself right in the center of it all. God, I really hope she survives this season because I can't handle the thought of losing her. Let's talk about William for a second because even though he's not the main focus of the trailer, I think his storyline is about to get really interesting. In episode 1, we saw him spiraling. He quit his job, he was drinking way too much, and he showed up at John's house only to meet Amaranthus Grey and her baby at first. He was kind of a jerk to her, but by the end of the episode, you could see him softening. He's starting to realize that maybe protecting Amaranthus and the baby could give him the purpose he's been searching for. Now, the trailer doesn't show us a ton of William, but the few glimpses we get are intriguing. There's a shot of him looking serious, almost determined, and he's talking to someone off camera. I think he's making a decision about his future. Maybe he's deciding to stay with Amaranthus and help her raise the baby. Maybe he's deciding to leave his old life behind completely and start fresh. Or maybe, and this is what I'm leaning towards, he's deciding to get involved in something dangerous. Because let's be real, William has always been the type to throw himself into situations without thinking them through. So if there's trouble brewing, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up right in the middle of it. And honestly, I think there's going to be a romantic connection between William and Amaranthus. I know, it might be too soon since she just lost her husband. But the way they were looking at each other in episode 1, there was something there. A spark, maybe? Or at least the beginning of one. They're both lost right now, both trying to figure out who they are and what they want. So it makes sense that they'd find comfort in each other. I'm calling it now. By the end of the season, William and Amaranthus are going to be together. What do you guys think? Am I reading too much into it, or do you see it too? Now, back to the ridge. The trailer shows us Jaime and Claire having what looks like a pretty intense conversation. Jaime's face is worried and Claire looks like she's trying to hold it together but barely managing. I think they're talking about Frank's book. You know, the one where Frank wrote that Jaime dies in the war. That revelation shook both of them in episode 1, and I don't think they're done processing it yet. Because how do you deal with the knowledge that someone from the future wrote about your death? How do you move forward knowing that your fate might already be sealed? But here's what I think. I don't believe Jaime is going to die. At least not yet. This show has always been about defying fate, about changing the future, about making choices that alter the course of history. So even though Frank's book says Jaime dies, I think Jaime and Claire are going to fight against that prophecy with everything they have. They're not the type of people to just accept their fate and give up. No, they're going to do whatever it takes to change the future, even if it means putting themselves in danger. And speaking of danger, the trailer shows us what looks like a full-on battle or attack. There are people with weapons, there's shouting, there's violence, and it all looks absolutely chaotic. I think this is the violent tragedy the synopsis mentioned. Someone is attacking the ridge, and the Frasers and their tenants are going to have to defend themselves. But who's attacking? Is it the British? Is it a group of outlaws? Is it someone with a personal grudge against the Frasers? I have no idea, but whoever it is, they're not messing around. There's also this shot in the trailer that I can't stop thinking about. It's just a quick flash, barely a second long, but it shows someone lying on the ground. I can't tell who it is because the shot is so fast and the lighting is dark. But it looks like they're not moving. Are they dead? Are they unconscious? Are they dying? This one shot has me more worried than anything else in the trailer. Because it could be literally anyone. It could be one of the settlers, it could be one of the Cunninghams, or God forbid, it could be someone we actually care about. I'm praying it's not Bree, Roger, or any of the kids, but with this show, you never know. One more thing I noticed in the trailer. There's a moment where Claire is looking at Fanny, and her expression is so full of love and pain at the same time. I think Claire and Jaime are struggling with the knowledge that Fanny is their granddaughter. They want to tell her the truth, they want her to know who she really is. But they're also terrified of scaring her away or making her feel like they have some kind of agenda. It's such a complicated situation and I feel for them. But I also think that eventually the truth is going to come out. Maybe not in episode 2, but soon. And when it does, I think it's going to be an incredibly emotional moment for all of them. Alright, let's dive into something that the trailer hints at but doesn't fully show us. And that's the tension between Jaime and Claire. We all know these two love each other more than anything. But that doesn't mean they always agree on everything. And right now, with war closing in on the ridge and Frank's book predicting Jaime's death, I think they're about to have a major disagreement. The trailer shows a moment where Claire looks frustrated, and Jaime has that stubborn expression he gets when he's made up his mind about something. I think Jaime wants to get involved in the war, or at least prepare for it. And Claire is absolutely against it. She doesn't want to lose him. She can't lose him. Not after everything they've been through, but here's the thing about Jaime. He's never been the type to run away from a fight, especially when it involves protecting the people he loves. So even if Claire begs him to stay out of it, even if she reminds him about what Frank's book says, I don't think Jaime is going to listen. He's going to do what he thinks is right, even if it puts him in danger. And that's going to create conflict between them. Not the kind of conflict that breaks them apart, because nothing could ever do that, but the kind that makes them both scared and angry and desperate to protect each other. It's heartbreaking to watch, but it's also so real. Because that's what happens when two people love each other that much. They fight because they care. Now, let's talk about Roger for a second. Because I think he's going to play a bigger role in episode 2 than we might expect. In the trailer, there's a shot of him looking absolutely terrified. And he's reaching out for something or someone. Is he trying to protect Bree? Is he trying to save one of the kids? Is he caught in the middle of the attack? Whatever is happening in that moment, it's bad. Roger has always been the kind of guy who wants to do the right thing, even if he's not always sure what that is. But when his family is in danger, he doesn't hesitate. He'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe, even if it means putting himself at risk. And speaking of the kids, I'm really worried about them. Jemmy and Mandy are so young, and the ridge is about to become a war zone. How do you protect children in that kind of environment? How do you keep them safe when violence is literally at your doorstep? The trailer doesn't show us much of the kids, but that almost makes me more nervous. Because if something happens to them, if they get caught in the crossfire or if they witness something traumatic, that's going to devastate everyone. Bree and Roger will blame themselves. Claire and Jaime will feel guilty for bringing them to the ridge in the first place, and honestly, I don't know if any of them would recover from that. There's also this underlying tension in the trailer that I can't quite put my finger on. It feels like everyone is on edge, like they're all waiting for something terrible to happen. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the prophecy isn't just about one specific event. Maybe it's about the feeling that everything is about to fall apart. That the piece they've worked so hard to build is about to shatter. Because that's what prophecies do, right? They create fear. They make people second-guess every decision, every action, every word. And when you're living under the shadow of a prophecy that says someone you love is going to die, how do you move forward? How do you keep going when you know that tragedy is coming? I keep going back to that scene with Bree asking Roger if he would stay at the ridge. If something happened to her, that question is haunting me. Because it's not just about physical survival. It's about emotional survival too. If Bree dies, would Roger be able to stay in the place where he lost her? Would he be able to raise their kids there, surrounded by memories of what they had and what they lost? Or would he have to leave, have to go back through the stones, have to escape the pain? I don't know the answer, and I don't think Roger does either. But the fact that Bree is even asking means she's preparing for the worst. And that terrifies me. The trailer also gives us another glimpse of the chaos. And it looks like multiple things are happening at once. There's the fire, there's the violence, there's people running and screaming, and through it all, the Frasers are trying to hold everything together. But can they? Can they really keep their community safe when everything is falling apart around them? I want to believe they can. I want to believe that their love and their strength and their determination will be enough. But this is Outlander. This show doesn't give us easy answers or happy endings without making us suffer first. So I'm bracing myself for the worst while hoping for the best. One thing I haven't talked about enough is Fanny. And I think she's going to be really important in episode 2. The Frasers are trying so hard to make her feel safe, to give her a home, to show her that she's loved. But they're also hiding this massive secret from her. They know she's their granddaughter, they know she's the daughter of their lost child. And they're terrified of what will happen if they tell her the truth. The trailer shows a brief moment where Fanny looks confused or upset. And I wonder if she's starting to sense that something is off. Kids are perceptive, you know? They pick up on things even when adults think they're hiding it well. So maybe Fanny is starting to realize that Jaime and Claire are keeping something from her. And maybe that's going to create tension between them. But here's what breaks my heart about this whole situation. Fanny has already lost so much. She lost her parents, she's been through things no child should ever have to go through. And now she's finally found people who genuinely care about her. But what happens when she finds out the truth? What happens when she learns that Jaime and Claire are her grandparents? That they're connected to her by blood? Will she feel betrayed that they didn't tell her sooner? Or will she feel relieved that she actually belongs somewhere, that she has a family? I'm hoping for the latter, but knowing this show, it's probably going to be complicated and messy and heartbreaking. And let's talk about the community on the ridge, because I think that's going to be a huge theme in episode 2. The synopsis says the Frasers must lean on their new tenants to make the community whole again. That tells me that whatever tragedy strikes, it's going to affect everyone. It's not just about the Frasers anymore. It's about all the people who have chosen to make the ridge their home, who have put their trust in Jaime and Claire to protect them and lead them. And when that violent tragedy hits, when everything falls apart, those tenants are going to have to step up. They're going to have to work together, fight together, survive together. Because that's what community means. It's not just about living in the same place. It's about being there for each other when things get hard. But I keep coming back to the Cunninghams. And I can't shake the feeling that they're going to make everything worse. What if they're the ones who caused the tragedy? What if Charles did something? Made some kind of deal with the British or betrayed the Frasers in some way? Or what if Elizabeth's hatred and judgment pushed someone over the edge? Caused someone to do something terrible? I don't have proof of any of this, it's just a gut feeling. But the trailer makes them look suspicious, and I don't think that's an accident. The Cunninghams are hiding something. And I think episode 2 is going to start revealing what that is. There's also the question of Fergus and Marsali and whether they're going to show up at the ridge. If their house really did get burned down, if the British really are coming after them, then the only safe place for them is with Jaime and Claire. And you know what? I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think we're going to see Fergus and Marsali and their kids arriving at the ridge, desperate and scared and looking for help. And the Frasers are going to take them in without hesitation because that's who they are. They protect their family, always. But bringing Fergus to the ridge might also bring danger with them. If the British are after Fergus, they might follow him there. And that could be what triggers the violent tragedy the synopsis is talking about. I'm also thinking about the bigger picture here. This season is building towards something massive. We can all feel it. The war is coming, danger is closing in from all sides. And the Frasers are right in the middle of it all. Episode 2 might just be the beginning of the chaos. It might be the first domino to fall in a series of events that will change everything. And I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready to see the people I love suffer. I'm not ready to watch them fight for their lives. But at the same time, I can't look away. Because this is Outlander. This is what the show does best. It breaks our hearts and puts them back together over and over again. So here's what I think is going to happen in episode 2. The ridge is going to be attacked, either by the British or by whoever hanged those men in the woods. Someone we care about is going to get hurt, maybe badly. The Cunninghams are going to reveal their true intentions, and it's not going to be good. Bree is going to do something brave and reckless that puts her in danger. Claire is going to try to save someone and maybe fail. Jaime is going to fight with everything he has to protect his family and his home. And through it all, we're going to be sitting here sobbing and screaming at our screens because that's just what this show does to us. I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely terrified for what's coming. This trailer has me on edge in the best and worst way possible. I can't wait for episode 2, but I'm also dreading it because I know it's going to hurt. But that's why we love this show, right? Because it makes us feel everything. So if you're as excited and terrified as I am, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And drop a comment below telling me your theories. Who do you think is going to get hurt? Do you think Bree will survive? What about Fergus and Marsali? Are the Cunninghams the real villains here? I want to hear everything you're thinking because I need someone to freak out with. Until the next episode drops. Trust me, we're going to need each other to get through this season. So let's do this together. I'll see you in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, Outlander fans. We're going to need it.